Welcome to the first episode of Outside the Algorithm Live. I'm your host, Samuel Patrick. We're streaming worldwide right now. I'm real excited about this. Quick little background for folks who are new to the platform, to the situation. We started maybe 7 or 8 years ago as LFOD Radio, an FM show on 91.5 in Boston every week. From there, it became clear that there was a lot more we could do for artists. So we've grown into a much larger platform than that, including all the YouTube stuff you've been seeing lately. This is something that grew out of 2020 as a whole. With everything going on, we slowed up with the radio and switched gears, and also people were looking for new ways to connect. So I started going live on Instagram every Tuesday, and I pretty much hit every single Tuesday from, I want to say, mid-March, possibly late March, straight through the end of the year. And it was something where I didn't always want to do it, but every time I did it, I was grateful, and I was really happy that it happened. And it was totally random. I would just, if you sent a request, you were getting brought up live onto the show. And it was cool. I ended up meeting a bunch of people. We started to have regulars. People would come and go, and people were making real connections off it. I connected with some folks. Shout out Lord Jones Scorsese. He actually passed away after the fact, but we got to meet on there, and that was really cool to be a part of his story and help tell it. He sold an album after doing it. I would get hit up by people like, yo, someone in New Hampshire just hit my Bandcamp. Was that you? And I was like, they must have seen you on the live. And then I'd reach out. So it's just real cool that we could bring people together. And we stopped doing it for 2021. I wanted to get off Instagram a bit, and now we're ready to bring it back. So we're taking it to the big screen. The idea is going to be to bring a lot of that energy into it. It's probably going to be a little more planned out. It won't be so random with who you see, but we will be bringing people up onto screen, depending on how the combo is going. So if you're tuned in and you're a fan, leave some comments, do your thing. And you could join us as well if you'd rather deliver them in person. I have a couple more notes here before we get into it. I mentioned we've grown a lot in terms of what we're doing. We have a new episode or a new series called Outside the Algorithm, which is where this gets its name. And what that is one-on-one sit-downs with some independent artists, entrepreneurs, people who I thought have interesting and inspirational stories to tell. And we're dropping those on the first Thursday of every month. We've already released an episode with Miss Hot Sauce and with Cake Swag. So if you haven't seen those, I'd recommend checking them out. We're dropping one with Laura Gold next week. If you're not familiar with him, he is a fashion designer out of Boston, Mass, currently based in Texas. And on top of this, one reason I'm a bit frantic right now, we launched our new website today. It came down to the wire. It's working. Parts of it aren't pretty, but it is working. And one thing that goes along with that is we're trying out a new membership thing. We've had some folks on Patreon for a minute now, and we've been super appreciative of that, but I didn't really love that platform, so we're bringing it in-house. And the way we'll be doing that is you can sign up for free and you can get extended interviews. For example, Outside the Algorithm, the public ones are about 10 minutes long. The full combo is an hour. You can get that for free if you sign up. And then there's another tier where you get more access. You get more of a say in where we're going. We'll actually be putting producer credits for you on all our content, and your contributions will go to our annual art grant, which we're going to award every year, and our members will decide who gets that. So I'm real excited about that. We're going to be giving an artist a bunch of money, or an amount of money, which will hopefully be growing and growing, to make some art that our members will get to choose who receives that and what's created. With that being said, I want to start bringing people in. If you're tuned in, please, like I said, a lot of this is the random stuff and people coming in. So a big part of what made it special was people leaving comments and getting inspired by the conversation and bringing them on and having them add to it. So if you got something to say, drop it in the comments. we'll be able to bring it up on the screen. Let's start with, where y'all at. So let me know where you're tuned in from. That's always the coolest thing. So far, our record is, I forget what it was during the lives, but we definitely had people tuned in from Afghanistan. I believe we hit Asia at one point, and then all over the US. So let us know where you're tuned in from. And of course, share the live. Shout out to my guy G-Eyes. If you're enjoying this at any moment, please pass it along to your friends, family, whatever. That being said, let's get into this. I'm going to bring Miss BrujaTheVillain to the stage right now. She is one of the folks who I mentioned that I met along the way doing these Instagram lives. She popped in one day, told a bit of her story, came back again, showed some incredible art, told a little bit more of her story. And by the end of the year, I really felt like I knew her well. And I think a lot of our listeners did too. So Miss BrujaTheVillain, come to the stage. What's happening?
What up?
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here. How was that? I felt like I just spewed information there.
You did great. That was perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
It's a new type of jitters, the studio live like this.
Yeah, I find that everything gives me anxiety nowadays. So
everything?
Yeah. It's the new normal. You go outside, you got anxiety. You come home, you got anxiety.
How are you dealing with this?
With lots of anxiety. I drink lots of water.
There we go.
Yeah. I keep to myself. I stay focused. And I don't know. When I want something, I get it. So it makes me happy.
All right. What's the focus these days?
Well, right now I have an event coming up February 5th at Electric Haze in Worcester. And we have DJ Manipulator's going to be playing some music. Nice. We also have Mova. We have 508 Dose that's also going to be performing. And we'll probably have a couple more people show up. Maybe I'll drop some spoken word. It'll be fun. So my work will be on display there for the month. And hopefully I sell some stuff. Well, I know I will. So
yeah, to be clear, you pay the bills off your art, right?
Yeah, I do. I am a full-time artist.
Salute. That is not easy.
No, and I do all kinds of things, from painting, drawing, to video, styling, you name it, I do it.
That's true. That is definitely true. You also, I didn't greet you with the wepa.
Wepa, mi gente. Let's go.
My bad. I'm still getting back in the flow. I'm still getting back to it.
It's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
Yeah.
Well, what's cool is we actually linked up in real life, which was dope.
Yes.
After the fact. We met on Instagram.
We had dinner, everybody.
We did have dinner.
We had dinner.
We did have dinner, and we tried to go to Cookies, but there was like a 4-hour line.
Yeah.
Like a burner.
Yeah, the security officer, I remember him. First of all, I've never met security officers that were so nice and so happy to be at a job like this. Yeah. Like, the security officers there were extremely happy. But he was just like, it's a 45-minute wait. But the line was like way down the street. The line looked like it was like a 3-hour long wait. It was. You can imagine how many people are waiting in line and then taking their time when they're finally in.
Oh yeah. Well, to my knowledge, there aren't too many dispensaries like that in Massachusetts.
No.
So it's 2022. You got that show. DJ Manipulator is fire, by the way. He has a mix with us. He did a mix for us at the end of last year. He's a real dope individual in terms of beats, in terms of ear mixes, all that. So that's going to be a good show. And the other names are familiar, but I'm not familiar with them. So this is going to be a little different. One thing I wanted to ask you. Mm-hmm. So you were part of the Instagram ones. What type of energy from those do you really want to carry over to the new ones? What should we be focused on? So because you're like you were one of the I would say early adopters, you know, so you'll be able to help us know if we're doing the right thing on this YouTube platform or not.
Honestly, I enjoyed just making the crowd laugh. You know,
Okay.
There were many times in our conversation where I would see people comment, and a lot of them were like laughing my ass off emojis, things like that. So, but you know, I like to talk a lot of shit. I specialize in that. So I enjoy, you know, making people laugh, you know, so like that's the vibe I like to be on. But also I am a very open person. I am not afraid to talk about my struggles. I think it's important to do that as well, because a lot of people feel like they're alone, but they're not alone. So I think it's okay to talk about real life issues as well, you know, and just like go ahead and add some comedy to that to lighten the mood.
That's the thing is some of those combos got very real on the gram, realer than I expected them to a lot of the time. So I definitely appreciate that. This is a space for whatever folks want to get off their chest. First of all, I rarely come into it with much of a plan. I just go live and, you know, see what people are up to.
Yeah.
All that being said, and speaking of people laughing, I can see everyone in the green room beneath here, and Tony got a kick out of a few things you had to say there. So
I want to get us all in the group. Do you think
we're going to start bringing people on? Yeah, I don't want to throw everyone at once. I'm not sure. So you're going to hang out.
Yeah.
You sort of met DJ Knife briefly off backstage. You want to stick around and get to know this guy?
I wanna talk to Brandie. I wanna talk to Tone.
Okay.
I wanna I got funny stories. Yeah, I would love to.
All right, you're in the mix.
Up in the mix.
All right, let's do it. So we're gonna bring DJ Knife on here. He's a surprise guest, not even mentioned on the flyer, and we linked up. Basically, we'll listen to the latest episode of LFOD Radio, which will be dropping tomorrow, and you can learn more about how I originally linked up with DJ Knife. But here he is for the first time on the outside of the algorithm screen. What's happening, man?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, not a lot. Well, actually, a lot to be.
It sounds like a lot.
Yeah. I mentioned at the beginning this website update, and I started trying to do it last Monday, and I've been on tech support for about 2 weeks straight. So
sounds about right.
I was literally, I know. Nothing I did either. Just nothing worked out of the box. And so anyway, it's functional now. So if you go on LFOD.life, you can see what's going on there. It's not as pretty as I want it, but it's mostly working. Also, if you see, what's that?
It looks good. I went on it today, but I thought it had been up forever. I had no idea. So it looks pretty good. I can say that from an honest perspective.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you come across anything that looks crazy, don't hesitate to let me know. You guys are most people do a beta test. We're just out here. It's just happening in the world. Working. So what's up with you though, man? I don't really know very much about you, to be honest, other than I believe you had a residency with Purple.
Yeah. So, okay. So I do the booking for Good Life. Actually, I've worked for Good Life for, like 14 years, like a really long time. So I've had a few parties there over the years. One of them was this one called Fresh Produce. And I think that was before everyone's time on here, but that was more of a kind of like classic hip hop party. And there was like lots of kind of like New York, like hip hop legends. We did that for 12 years. And then in the middle of that, we started Purple. So Purple was more of a Southern rap night and a trap night. And, that went for 7 years, and we had, you know, all sorts of guests. We had DJ Drama, Manny Fresh, like people that were kind of, you know, really in that circuit. And we still might want to do some more of that, but you know, the pandemic hit, and we've just been kind of I thought I was not going to work for Good Life ever again, you know, in 2020. And then we came back in July. So we've been figuring things out, but it's been tough over there, you know, with Omicron. So if you can support your local DJ establishment, restaurant, you know, try to get out there, not just like on Instagram, spend some money.
So you're from Fresh Produce?
So I did, that was the first party I had there.
Okay.
And then, but I'm not, so Fresh Produce, you might be thinking of a different Fresh Produce, maybe, but Fresh Produce.
From the Good Life Bar.
Yeah,
I go there all the time. We've probably met before. So I know Frank White.
Okay, so we do know each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So Frank played there all the time, and yeah, that party went on for like 12 years. And, yeah, and I think we stopped that one in 2019, and then Purple stopped right before the pandemic. So yeah. So
that's a good run. 12 years is a great run, and so is 7 years.
It was a long one, and honestly, Purple I feel like still has some life left in it. You know, I still want to do a few more of them, but it's just been tough, you know. And then I've got a crazy schedule, and you know, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It'll happen. I see Mensch tweeting little steady leaning things from time to time. The brand is alive.
The brand is alive, especially his brand is alive. That's for damn sure. That's
definitely true. That's definitely true. So you put this mix together for us, and we'll be dropping this very shortly. It went off on the air. It was good. It was all brand. It was like 32 songs, I think, and they all dropped this year. And there were a lot of artists I hadn't heard of.
So, okay, about that.
I
was lied to from some of the DJ record pools. For example, I'm going to call out a couple of them. Beat Junkies said a couple songs came out in 2022. And then when I checked after the mix was done, they weren't. So some of these songs are from last year.
Okay.
I had no idea. So I was pissed off. I was like, I really was doing my homework trying to get all songs from 2022, but I like checked a couple things like after the mix dropped, and I was like, fuck.
It was cool though, man. It was is that where you're finding music these days? Are you going through record pools and digging that way, or?
Yeah, so you know, I do most of the rap I get is from record pools. I listen to a lot of like indie dance type stuff, and that I get a lot from Spotify. So you know, when I'm driving around, I kind of like listen to that stuff a lot. And then, but when it comes to like rap, I have like 4 different DJ record pools that I draw music from. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is we're all about giving artists info and stuff here. So I would say, I guess artists might want to look into how to submit to DJ pools, because I'm not sure that's on everyone's radar. Do you know if that's how they get their music, or are these more DJs?
It really depends. You know, like I kind of come from, I think, a different generation of like mixtapes being a certain way, and they kind of all have this like formula of one dropping into another. A lot of people, when they make mixtapes now, they don't mix them in, they just kind of just drop them in, you know what I mean? So for me, if I'm going to put music together, it has to have at least 4 bars of drums in the beginning of it. So that's how I try to find music that way, you know, and oftentimes that's through a record pool, but sometimes like just from, you know, like I have to grab stuff from iTunes, you know what I mean? Because like we still have to download shit, you know, the DJs anyway. It's not like we're at the point where like streaming is like, you know, something that we can do like with ease, you know what I mean? So most of us are like downloading everything beforehand before we play it out.
Yeah, it's got to be done.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the mix like that too. And that's interesting too, because I was just talking about that with someone. Like, you got to look around and see how your music's being used. And that's good to know, because some people are going for super abrupt intros. They're probably not going to make a DJ Knife mix.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's true. I mean, that's the thing, is it's like if somebody's talking in the first 4 drum bars of a track, I'm not going to use their song. But that's only because I come from this like generation where when we were putting together mixtapes, it needed 4 bars at least in order to like mix from one like, you know, chorus into the next song. So
all right, yeah, I feel that. So the mix was dope. I definitely appreciated it. We like giving new artists and new people like a chance to you know, show off. Is there something like you're checking for in 22 in terms of a sound or an artist, or like what's on your radar these days?
it really, I mean, I don't know, man. Like I kind of I I was really upset when rap started going towards the like acoustic guitar phase of things, which I feel like there's been like so much more of those kind of like beats in the last year. Like I like
The
really,
guitar is back.
yeah, it's back, but sometimes not in a good way. You know what I mean? Like I don't really like kind of like emotional, slow rap music, you know.
Okay.
I just want everything to be like really hard, you know, and like that was what Purple was like based off of, was like really hard rap music and like having a place to play it, you know. So, you know, I love like some of the stuff that like was on that mix, you know, like that dude Duke Deuce is like right up my alley. Like, so I'm always checking for his stuff. And I want to do a Boston mix too. So that's something that I've like proposed to Steady Leanin', and I'm like trying to see if I could do that this year as well. But I have like a bigger project that I'm trying to do that's not rap associated, but it's like a DJ project and it involves like a beer and stuff like that. I've been doing some stuff with beer for the last couple of years, so that's kind of where my focus is right now.
Nice. Well, please keep us in the loop so we can spread the word, boost the signal, all that stuff. We're definitely here to share and get things out. That's definitely for sure.
Will
And
do.
I don't know, man. So piano had like a 10-15 year run, I think.
It's
so
true.
Guitar might have a minute.
I know. You're right.
But it's interesting because there are I have noticed that little like lick is the thing now.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of people who are like really crooning now, and like it's sort of that emotional,
don't get me wrong,
street music.
Yeah, there are examples of it that are good, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to talk shit. So it's just kind of like,
but I also understand it's like people really leaned into that hard.
I feel like 2021 was like the year that people really leaned into that, you know? And now it seems like it's starting to like, it just seems like everything's kind of like back. It seems like everything's going in different directions, you know? And, you know, I don't know. I just gravitate towards the harder stuff in general. So,
which is, I mean, not for nothing, things are pretty messed up right now. So I definitely feel that shift, you know, in terms of, if you want to call it street music or whatever, it's definitely coming
it just
to prominence.
And just like drums in general, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like it feels like drums are coming back heavy, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's good news for you. That's
yes.
Good news for you. So here's what we can do here. I definitely want to chop it up with you at another time too, and like get the story and do that type of thing.
Yeah.
But while we're moving along here, so you're welcome to hang too. Bruja, seems like you're going to be here for a minute. I don't expect you're going off the screen.
I'm here for Brandie.
Do you have
when
any?
I saw the flyer, I was like, yes.
All right. Do you have anything else for DJ Knife before we start bringing more people on here?
I'm gonna follow you. And
yeah, I already followed you, so look for my follow.
Yes, and make sure that you keep up with all the shit you just got done saying.
I will, absolutely.
All right.
She'll hold you accountable. So you're welcome to hang too, man. It's up to you either way.
I'll peace out. You guys got a lot of, you know, people on, so I'm gonna let you guys do your thing. Okay?
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks again for the mix. I'm glad we could link up, and let's keep in touch for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, peace.
Bye, y'all.
Adios.
Brandie. Whoop.
¿Dónde está Brandie?
Let me wait till she's ready. I was trying to click him out, but he found a way to exit on his own. And now, coming to the stage. But before, if you're tuned in right now, share the live with 5 people. It's a challenge. Share the live with 5 people who would enjoy it. You could be tuned in on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, whatever. Share that shit. If you're on Facebook, tag them in it. Do whatever. Let people know. And then we're going to bring Brandie Blaze to the stage by popular demand. Let's go. What's happening?
Hi guys, how are you?
Hola.
Hi,
I'm
honey.
here. Shout out to Kiki sharing the live on it.
Wepa,
Report
let's
back
go.
when you have shared the live. Let us know, and we'll put you on the big screen.
I just sent it to some people, so hopefully we'll have some more folks coming in asking questions and stuff.
Word, it's gonna happen. I can see Tony's down there on like his third swisher, so we're gonna have to bring him on soon. But so Brandie, what's going on?
I'm out here happy to be alive.
Yeah.
Word up.
Yeah.
Honestly, like just happy to be here and, still be able to create and do music. It's been a tough 2 years. It has not been a joke. So I'm just grateful for everyone that's still here, still breathing, still living, and honestly, giving honor to all of those that we've lost during these past 2 years. It's been crazy. I just lost my stepsister, so
I'm sorry.
it's been real crazy.
It has been. I feel like it's very easy to get caught up in your own stuff too, and forget that there's still a lot of battles taking place.
Absolutely. Like, I know, especially when this pandemic first happened, I thought my birthday's in August, so I thought we was going to be back outside by my birthday in 2020. And, here we are like 2 years later, still dealing with the same things. It's a lot to process. And, I just am just trying to give grace and space to everyone because, this is unprecedented times. We've never had to deal with anything like this. So, I'm trying to give myself grace as well. Like, it's okay.
It is okay. And yeah. I'm glad you said that because definitely people need space. Like even like road rage. What are you doing right now? Like people are going through stuff. But on top of that, like we got to remember to treat ourselves the way we're treating other people, because sometimes we put ourselves last with that stuff.
Yeah, just be like kind and nice to each other. I always, saw myself like as a nice person. I enjoy being a nice person, but definitely I've been trying to just extend more grace to people than maybe I would have before. Because, we're all reacting to things differently. We're all going through so much, just trying to deal with this and stay healthy and stay alive. Like, we just got to extend grace to each other.
Yeah. And you are a nice person.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was one of our conversations. I remember you said you were told you couldn't make it in hip hop because your personality didn't match the stage thing, because you were talking shit on stage and then you were the friendliest person when you got off.
Right. I'm like, but Brandie Blaze is me. I am Brandie Blaze. But my music as Brandie Blaze keeps me out of prison, so I can be a nice person. That's why, I did hear that a lot, especially when I was first starting out. Like, you're so nice and you're so sweet, and then you get on stage and you're rapping and it's like, rah! And I'm like, but that's me too. And just be glad that you have never done anything to bring that side of me out.
Be glad I know how to channel my ego into this place.
Exactly. And you ain't did nothing to me, so you don't have to see that side of me.
I don't want to see that. I'm going to stay moving with peace over here.
I try to do too. I'll be like, don't push me.
Yeah. Why do you want to? So, Bruja, can I call you Bruja?
Yes, please do.
I'm unclear on your name these days, so BrujaTheVillain or Bruja is acceptable.
Yes, totally.
Okay. You were excited to see Brandie. Jump in here. You don't have to wait for an invitation, too. You're more than welcome to just speak to each other. Like, I'm just here.
First of all, I totally have been missing you on social media. I know that you took a break, but that, we all have to do that from time to time. I'm sorry about your sister. I totally understand how you feel. But also I was wondering, like, what are you doing now to adjust to this COVID culture? Like, a lot of people have forced themselves to do different like side jobs, or many people have made total career changes. Some people have actually left Massachusetts to move to California, and other Californians are coming to Massachusetts. So I'm wondering, like, what are you doing differently now that things are so different for everyone? Society's just, everything's changed.
Honestly, I haven't really had to make that many changes. So I think like people maybe don't know this, or maybe they do know this about me, but I am a human services worker. That is my day job. And when the pandemic hit, I became an essential worker. So I've worked through the entire pandemic. So that really didn't change for me. It was scary, absolutely, you know, having to be like exposed to COVID and still be there for my clients the way that I need to be. It was very, very difficult, very, very scary. So that career professionally really didn't change anything for me. I still had to go to work. But music wise, I did transition into doing, you know, live streams and things like that. I was doing a makeup series for a while. But I think I just kind of got overwhelmed with like the technology piece. First off, doing shows on Zoom, it was great to be able to still connect with people, but just for how much I pride myself as a performer, I just felt like it just like wasn't it for me. I was doing it because I wanted to stay present. And I think, you know, going into the pandemic, my career was on a crazy trajectory where I was booked out for 2020. I couldn't even take any more shows. Like we were going on tour. It was, the trajectory was crazy. So I had to really, that was really the hardest and biggest adjustment that I had to make. And also having to deal with my own mental health issues. I deal with depression, and that came up very heavily. I have an album that I've completed. I have my third album is done. But I did push back the date. It was supposed to come back out in December, but I just was not in a place mentally where I could give it what it needed to be given. And I knew it. And I really made that tough decision to just pull the plug on it, and it sucked. It sucked. And I think kind of like one thing about this pandemic that has been bad, but also good as well, is that I really had to confront my mental health in a way that I never have before, because it's like all I could do was go to work and then I come home. There was nothing else for me to do. I'm not out on the road. I'm not busy. I'm not shooting videos the way that I was. Or, you know, I had a run where I had 2 shows a week for like several months. And I was just out here. And I think when you get that busy, it's very easy to stuff down your issues because you're just so focused on career and work. And, you know, I got a photo shoot, I got an interview, I got a show, I got a podcast, I got to go here, I got to go here. And then all of that while I'm still working 2 day jobs because I support my family, just like a rapper, right? I already take care of my family before, you know, I get the big checks. So I think that that's what really just made me be like, I have to confront this because everything had dried up. So then when I get off work and I'm here, you know, in my apartment by myself, I don't have any choice but to think about the things that have traumatized me and hurt me. I didn't have any choice. And I'm someone, you know, I've been really open about my mental health struggles and, you know, having to take antidepressants and things like that. But in the past, I was very much someone that would like, I would have a depressive episode, I would get on antidepressants, and then I'd be like, oh no, I'm fine now. And then get off them. And then until the next episode came. And I think I really had to realize, like, I'm just someone that has to be on antidepressants. It's okay. Like, I have that chemical imbalance. I need that help. So that was a bad thing. Like, I'm still really sad that, you know, the album got pushed back because I do think it's my best body of work I've ever done. And I can't wait for people to hear it. But also, I think this is the first time in my life, period, where I was like, I have to take precedence. I can't just keep working and work and work and work, because I am a workaholic.
Mm-hmm.
So I will do that and just bury how I feel. I can't do that anymore.
Mm.
I can relate to everything that you said. And when the album does come out, it's gonna explode. I promise you. I promise you. You know, just, and especially because you're taking your time, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I did the same thing. For me, it goes back a number of years before COVID, like my own personal trauma. And I stopped working for almost 3 years. Nobody saw me. I changed my phone number like 3 times, like just so I could save my life, you know? And then I ended up developing this new artist, BrujaTheVillain. And this past I say the past 6 to 8 months, it's just work consistently. So like my homeboy said to me the other day when he helped me carry this 250-pound treadmill up 2 flights of stairs, he said, never give up. So let's go. Like, I can't wait. Like, I know it's going to be so good. I'm hot. Like, Brandie, I told everybody today, like, yo, Brandie's going to be on LFOD tonight. Like, she's top tier.
Let's
Like,
go.
yes.
Thank you.
Like, and listen, for everybody that's watching right now, y'all need to know this. Like, Brandie is super nice, but don't fuck with her because I will fuck you up.
Oh,
because
she's
the
gang
first
out
time
here.
I met you,
gang.
yo, the first time I met Brandie, she treated me as if we've been friends for like 5 years, like as if she's always known me. And I was just like, oh my God, there's somebody else in the world that's like me, you know, because but I was shy. I was intimidated. I was like, yo, like you see her presence on stage. Yo, gang.
You know, I always vibes. You know what I mean? When I meet people, especially, you know, Sam, like when I met both of y'all first time, just good vibes. And I,
Right.
you know, really thrive off of that. Like, the energy that you put out into the universe is the energy that you want to get back. And I really try to live my life by that. Like, even if, you know, sometimes it bites me in the ass, it's fine. But I want to always put that good love and that good energy in the universe and treat people well. And if they take advantage of it, then fuck them. But I'm never gonna, you know what I'm saying, put that type of nasty energy out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when I met both of y'all, honestly, like, it was just great vibes, like from the jump.
No, we had a great first convo, and it was the LFOD radio podcast, and it was dope, and it's cool because lately what's been happening to me, and this is about y'all, so we don't get too much into it, but I have been misjudging my friendship with artists quite a bit lately, where I do have situations with that, like that, where I vibe, and I only need to have one good convo like that. I'm like, oh, we're cool, right? We're cool, and lately maybe it's a pandemic, maybe it's texting, but I'm learning maybe I'm not as cool with people as I thought I was. So it's dope that it does seem genuine with you. And it's not like, oh, we were friendly for the hour because we had to be.
Sam, you know I fuck with you because, okay, I'm gonna tell the story. I was on the live last week because I had the date wrong.
I'll take a little credit.
I was on the time. Yeah. No, I was on the live last week. But me and Sam had like a beautiful conversation, and I was just, you know, so happy to see you. And we had a great conversation, you know, for as long as we could, and then we had to go. But, you know, one thing about you, one, that's still my favorite interview I've ever done because I enjoy interviews, but there's really only a few people that have asked me questions that haven't been repeated.
Someone gave me shit for the questions I asked you. Oh, that's awesome.
I've done a lot of interviews, but I knew that you did your research and you really like rocked with me heavy because you did. Because I was like, you asked me questions. I think that's the first time I ever got thrown off in an interview where I was like, and not in a bad way, but I was like, did not expect that question at all. You know, there's just a few, you know, people out here that are just like incredible interviewers and do their research and do their homework. You know, I've done a lot of interviews, and sometimes, you know, just being honest as an artist, it can get boring because it's like same questions. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like trying to figure out ways to say it differently because I don't want to make your interview boring, you know. So
could you tell us some of your
work.
influences?
Hmm?
Could you tell us some of your influences? Why did you start making music?
Yes. Like, when did
Where
you
are you
start?
from? I could Google this, and so could everybody. But where are you from?
Right. Okay, and I'd be like, first
I'm
off,
sorry.
if you are a Boston, you know, based in Boston, and you ask me where I'm from, I know you didn't do no research on me.
Right.
Everybody know I'm from Dorchester. Don't play with me. Don't play in my face. Everybody knows I'm from Dorchester. I said it on the Red Shades record. Dorchester, bitch, show your titties. Like, come on. Like, everybody knows that line. You know I'm from Dorchester. Like, come on. But, you know, on that same note, I do just appreciate, you know, the community, other podcasters, the journalists, the writers, because this music scene would have never gotten the traction that it did and that we're seeing if it hadn't been for you guys, you know, really investing in us and opening up your platforms and building platforms and then putting us on it. So I say that consistently, like, this music scene, you know, a lot of times it's like the artist, but like, nah, you got to give it up to the podcasters, the journalists, the writers, the photographers, everybody behind the scenes that makes this run, because none of this happens if I don't have a platform like this to come on. You know what I'm saying? If a journalist isn't writing about me, then who knows about me, like, about my music? Like, it's a beautiful relationship that we all have.
We appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. And our goal as well is, I always looked at it as, someday people are going to write about this period in Boston hip hop. They're going to shoot documentaries. Stuff is going to happen. Like, we got to get these stories recorded, you know, whether it's why sometimes I talk with people who aren't that big, but are like a part of like key pieces, you know? And it's cool. I want to be referred to by other journalists so they can ask you more interesting questions, you know? And I read other people's interviews too. So I love it when people hit you with good questions, because then oh, cool, I can ask the next question, you know, and keep the convo going.
Never asked me personal questions. You're the only person that ever did.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. No one ever asked me, like, if I'm single. No one ever does. You're the first person that ever asked me.
I love the juicy questions. I wish people would ask me about my sex life.
Well, so let me be clear. So I'm glad you brought that up. Let's do this, and then I want to bring Tony on. But your situation, and it's funny, COVID might have thrown a wrench in this. You pitched the idea of a triple-decker with your polyamorous relationship with people on each floor, that they just have to deal with that, and you would come and go. I still think you can pull it off.
I think
Amanda was negative about it, but I think you can do it.
I think Amanda's come around to it more.
Oh, has she? Okay.
I be talking about it's my dream, and that's my best friend, so she's never gonna dash my dreams. So I think she's come around to it. Like, it could work if I'm paying.
It's not for everybody, but
and you get to live in this triple decker in the fucking city. That's, of course, if it's me, it's gonna be beautiful. Like, and you can live your life while I'm out on the road, but when I come home, it's Brandie time. What is the problem?
Right. So
I've been in a couple polyamorous relationships. I've been in 2.
Do you have advice for Miss Blaze?
I know. I've never done this.
Yo, like, I'm really telling it. But, like, yeah, I mean, they were fun. I had my own space, you know. There was an understanding. And, like, to be honest, like, I ain't trying to blow anybody up, but, like, I know some real ass dudes, good dudes, like, really good, but they cheat. So it's like, you know, and then someone once said to me, how are they good dudes if they cheat? Like, so what does that mean? Like, you're saying that if a person cheats, it automatically makes them a horrible, terrible person? No, I don't think so. I just think people have different levels of way they handle relationships. You know, you really shouldn't cheat. You should be open and honest right away when you meet somebody. This is how I am. I like men and I like women. Or I like having multiple partners, or I just like being by myself, or, so I think it's really important to share what your lifestyle is like when you first meet somebody, because what is the intention?
Right.
When you're dating, what is the intention? So I think polyamorous relationships are phenomenal, and I'm actually really happy for people that manage to make them work. But I'm also really happy for people who can stay faithful to just each other. So I don't judge. I've been through a lot, and I've been in the industry for about 25 years now. I've seen a lot, heard a lot. I was a therapist to a lot of these artists. So like,
that's I'm like, this isn't the I'm sure this is not the craziest idea you've ever heard.
No, it is not. It is not.
And
I have been in 2 polyamorous relationships, so, but I felt like I was the one that really made the rules, because I just wanted to be like myself. This is my place. Yeah. Nobody's moving in.
No wonder you two get along. Yeah.
Right.
You're right, though.
I need my space.
Word. And then, like, when he went on tour, when he was out on tour, I was just like, okay, you on tour, do what you got to do. I'm going to be right here doing my thing.
Wow.
That's literally was my whole thing. And everyone was like, that sounds just like, I was like, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. When I come home, it's Brandie time. But when I'm on the road, you do you and I do me, because I'm on the road.
As long as you're careful, you take care of your body, you use protection.
And communicate. It's not cheating if you communicate about it. Hey, this is the deal. You're here. This is your space. And if you start feeling emotional for the road, what are we calling them? The road folks, then you got to let them know and revisit the relationship.
Listen,
Didn't you say that they, I believe at the time you said they need to mind their business while you're gone too, though? Or was that a misunderstanding?
No, so what I said was, literally, I was like, I didn't want them, you can't bring nobody in the house.
Okay, that's respect the space.
Right, respect the space, right? You go out and do your thing. When I'm on the road, I'm on the road. But when I'm home, then the focus is on me because I'm here.
Right. And
but then when I'm gone, I'm not going to hold you, because how long am I going to be gone?
Right.
So I could be gone, you know what I'm saying? God willing, everything go the way it's supposed to. I could be gone for 6 months. I'm not going to expect you to, sit in the house and I'm gone for 6 months. Like that's too much. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, when I'm here, I can be a brat. So I'm like, I just expect the focus to be on me when I'm home.
VR is also going in incredible places. So you never know. You could take the relationships on the road. I got to bring Tony on. This is such a thing to follow up. Like,
poor Tone.
The energy went to a different place. I don't know what he's got for it. If y'all are fucking with us, I'm swearing now. We're not on the air anymore, so it's legit. Drop a comment. We'll bring it up on the screen. If you want to push the conversation, if you got questions, comments for these guys, let us know. We'll keep it going. Shout out to everyone tuned in. I saw Mr. Rob in the building. Thank you, Brandie, for sharing the live.
I love you guys. Because of I got a flight to catch in the morning, so I got to go. But I love you guys so much.
Brandie.
Hit me
up. My number is the same.
My number is not the same, and neither is my phone. So I'll hit you up on IG and we'll exchange more information.
One sec before you go. Tony, nod yes or no. Do you want to add to this conversation with Brandie while she's here for a minute? Or do you want to? He's nodding. Can you hang for like 5 minutes? Yeah. All right. TonyWhiteDDM, another dude who I met. Tony has kind of the illest LFOD introduction because he called the radio station. He found the phone number and called the radio station because I made a comment about Big Crit and Pimp C and comparing their energies. And he wanted to let me know that, he let me know that Pimp C was not duplicated. That wasn't what I meant, but we had a cool conversation. We talked about it on air. So Tony's been like fam since then, and he definitely popped up in all the lives. We've done interviews. He smashed the Hoop Hop Cypher this year. TonyWhiteDDM, welcome to the stage. We're on Outside the the algorithm. What's good, man?
Yo, rest in peace, Pimp C, one of the best to do it.
Yep, Sweet Jones.
What
That's
up?
right. That's right. What's going on? But to not to hold you up, Brandie, but to piggyback on the conversation you all having, I think people need to get to the point of knowing what you want, being honest about what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And you do what you do. You don't worry about what other people are gonna say, think about it. You live one time. And I think the craziest thing about this phenomenon we call life, we don't know our expiration date. So you best get out here and, do you to the fullest and be real about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's my 2
I'm
cents.
always super honest about anything I do. That gets me in trouble sometimes, but I
Because,
don't care
that's
because I'm
because
like,
people
I'd
hate
rather
the
you just
truth.
know. You can't say I didn't tell you.
Yeah, but, most people hate the truth. A lot of people want you to be 100 and then give you the 50. So,
Okay.
it's going to be a hard thing to do. You make sure everybody around you is on the same, playing field in terms of just being themselves, being 100, being honest, and you can eliminate a lot of the BS in the games, So, yeah.
It's worth it too, because if you telling the truth, people disappear from that. Like that means the foundation wasn't there and it was gonna break at some point. So
Right. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I'm just very brutally honest when I meet someone new. Especially if I'm dealing with someone else, you're gonna know everything I'm doing, and whoever I'm dealing with, they're gonna know, okay, I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, why lie? Why lie?
But the best thing about it, even if a person doesn't like what you have to say off the rip, they might not get it. They might not be used to hearing that honesty like that. They'll come back around even as just a friend, even if it's just an associate, because they respect you, and respect is everything. There's no price on respect. It's priceless. It's worth more than gold. So yeah, it's the 2 cents. That's it.
word.
I appreciate it. That's why I'm like, I'm doing the right thing. I'll be like, I don't like to lie. Why lie?
That's right.
Closed minds don't get bread. Yo.
Okay.
Right, let's go.
I was hoping it was on the hat. I was hoping he was rocking it. Yo, on the ski mask. All right.
I appreciate you guys
Brandie,
so much.
thank you. Hit me up if you want to do like a game show around this. Like we can do a bachelorette or something and find you your suitors.
Okay,
good idea.
No, my team has already talked about doing like literally that, and me going on date. We're gonna talk. We're
looking for more things to produce. So. Peace.
Let me
well. All right. Oh, everyone keeps.
Shit,
No. We got them. People are manually removing themselves from the stream, so I'm going to stop trying to do it on purpose.
Yeah, there's a little leave button at the bottom there.
Okay. I'm never on your guys' side, so I wasn't sure how that worked. Tony, what's good, man?
Man, we about to put some more clothes up on the website. I got the website up. I'm happy. I'm proud about that. Made something real simple, easy, accessible, user-friendly. I'm getting
What's the
back
website?
into cmdgb.com because I figured you guys wouldn't want to write out closed minds don't get bread every time you go online. So you go online, you get you some caps right now. I got sweatsuits on the way. I got these ski masks. They love these joints right here, but I'm about to switch the look up on them. We're gonna throw that out. Yeah, got some music coming. I'm back making music. Took a nice little break. Got to see what was going on with everybody's sound, who's doing what, where they're going. And I also came up with how I want to release my music too, because I think the streaming world is dope because it's so easy. Everything's so accessible right there, with the DSPs and all of that. But, in hindsight, when a person tells me one play on Apple is going to earn you 0.0003743, that's under a penny. That doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Not totally. You know what I mean? Not when I know an artist is about to go spend $50, $75 an hour in the studio. They're gonna shoot videos paying anywhere from $500 to $2,500. We haven't even factored in merch and marketing, and you're gonna give somebody under a penny. That sounds like I'm being hustled. So with
You
that,
are being hustled.
exactly, you know. So with even, you know, what do you get 1 million plays? What you get, like $3,000 or $4,000, some crap like that? Like that? Come on,
It's something like that, yeah.
and we're gonna make that outside. Like, come on, we're not, you know. So looking at what West Side Gun is doing, what Rock Marciano is doing, I'm kind of following their blueprint, and I think the big thing is, guess what? We'll hit the DSPs. But if you come to the website and get the project, I'll give you 3 extra songs, some merch, and we'll run that number up. Now we can feel a little bit better about when we're putting music out. You know what I mean? And we
And
create
it's
an
worth it
experience.
too, because
Yeah,
you're paying attention to the merch. It's well crafted.
right. So we create an experience, and who's to say we don't, you know, put a limit on it? Like, hey, there's only going to be 50 copies available. You don't just get music, you get more. And you get more music. You go on the DSPs, I might give you 6 songs on that. But if you come over here, I might give you 9 or 10 right quick. You get, you know, 3 or 4 extra joints. And only people like you who come out the pocket and support the artist can have this. The other cats, they can't ride around with that. So now, you know, again, the big word is we're creating experience. You know what I mean? And 2022 gonna be stupid in a good way. It's gonna be
Yeah,
stupid.
I feel like, so when you were coming on the IG lives, you'd come on every couple weeks or something like that. Sometimes just to say what up. Sometimes you had more to talk about. But it
Right.
felt like you were studying and just like tweaking, tuning, whatever. So is this the
Yeah.
year where all this is gonna
Hey,
really happen?
Sam, motherfuckers is in trouble this year. Excuse my
Okay.
language. I'm sorry. Like, listen, I don't even have but so much to say. You know what I mean? I'd rather let the action do what it do. Oh, while we're talking too, shout out to Hustle Killer. Shout out to J Plus Music. Shout out to Greatness 617. Shout out to Alchemy Clothing. Shout out to Never at Home Clothing. Shout out Nate Grayski.
Keep
Shout
going.
out Open Market, Money for Drugs. I'm throwing these names out here because I'm watching a certain type of energy and creation that's coming out of all of them through all works of art. I'm looking at Nate G doing music. I see he's built a relationship with people over at Apple. That's beautiful. He's selling art. You know what I mean? I'm looking at Money for Drugs. My boy, we call him 431 back home. He's selling coffee. He's got his own coffee. He's
Yeah,
selling his own
Odyssey
Pronto leaf. He's selling his
Odyssey
own
got
Pronto leaf.
into
You know?
selling coffee too.
Yeah, like
Pronto.
that's amazing. Music and clothing. Like, come on. Alchemy Clothing, my boy Ken, he's doing this thing. Never at Home Clothing. My man Say down in Florida. I love what I'm seeing up in Malden with the open mic showcases and the ciphers. Like, we just where did I go? I went to Revere, Sammy's Patio. They had an event over there. And I saw energy in there. I haven't seen, you know, with shows in a minute. I gotta check out Al Seed up at Dorchester Art Project. I see what they're doing with Good Life. I got pepper sprayed at the last event by this fucking
What?
cop.
No,
Yeah, it was,
dude.
yo, listen.
You were at
right?
the laced one, or was that the laced one or another one? Oh, we don't want to say
Whatever.
their name, maybe. Yeah.
Nah, whatever was upstairs, you know what I mean? This cop, he was I think he got in his feelings because a female complimented my outfit, and all of a sudden the mace went off by accident, hit the whole hallway.
Oh,
I never even made it in the fucking, you know, in the event or none of that, you know.
jeez,
So
bro.
had to eat that. You know, it is what it is. I'll still be back because, you know, ain't no fear over here.
Shout out Al Seed. He's been a supporter from day one.
Yeah, for sure. And what he's doing, that he's got like a go button that don't stop at all. You know what I mean? But just some of the creativity that's coming out of people right now, this pandemic, and quarantining and all of that, it stifled some people, but it gave a lot of people a gear to shift into. Look at all the businesses that started. Look at, you know, the creativity. People got the chance to think outside the box. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. It did expose some ugliness to me too. And you know, I watched a lot of people get free money. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of PPP loans go out, and I saw some ugly spending habits. I saw some ugly spending habits. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, in the long run, I like to ask people, you know, you have fun. You came up on a couple of bands. What do you have to show for it? Did you put it to good use? And do you have the money in the cut to pay it back? Because they're coming to, you know, you're going to have to pay with some interest. Do you got that?
They are starting to go check back up on where.
No, seriously. I mean, these are just the facts. You know, I watched people who never touched $20,000-$30,000 at a time, and you know, they went to Miami. They bought Dior. Like, fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, time exposes a lot.
Yeah, you definitely popped on early in the. I remember some of our early combos. We were like, "This is where people are going to pull away one way."
Yeah,
or
you're gonna see the difference.
This isn't time to chill. Like you're like, this is time to get your home studio together. This is time to figure out these pieces. If you're not there yet, like get it right because
all that free money. What are people gonna have to show for it? Did you make something that could turn 1 into 2, if not 3?
Right.
We're gonna see.
Right.
We're gonna see. I can't wait to show you what my audio quality sounding like right now. Hey Sam.
I'm ready, man, because that's one thing I've noticed is you've always been super polished in the studio, and that's why we always like having you on the ciphers and stuff. And like,
hey
whenever
Sam,
you share,
I'm crushing the old shit, Sam.
Okay.
I promise you. I'm crushing the.
Listen, I'm ready.
Man.
I'm ready, and that's what I'm excited about. But so I got a question for you. One ill thing. And the reason we connected too is you always do your research. Like you knew about us early through like random people because you were checking hashtags and going on this thing and meeting that person, and you're really good. And you just shouted out mad people. How do you keep that balance between watching and knowing what's going on, and also like minding your own business and keeping that together? Like, how do you walk both of those tight ropes?
I sit time aside to study. So all the way down to even some of the new things that you guys are doing over at LFOD with the stamp. That's fire.
Thank you.
Like you made a comment, and I'm gonna answer your question in full, but you made a comment that I really loved. One of the artists you guys had played, and you mentioned how you wanted some of the producers to dig a little bit more because they're starting to use the same samples. And as a hip hop, as a lover of music, and as a hip hop head, I really appreciated that. But to answer your question in full, I take the time, I sit time aside to study. You know what I mean? Like I'll pick a day where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna take an hour or two and just go research. You will find out so much information. You know, I've switched clothing vendors recently. You know what I mean? Because I went on Google and I just looked up a few things. I got tired of the first couple companies I was working with, and not that they were bad, but what I have in mind, there's a certain type of quality, right? So I had to go seek and I had to go find. So this month, I've been in New York 3 times this month, found all new vendors, right? Because I said, you just allocate an hour or two of your time. It's easy for us. Like we got a cheat code that the cats in the 80s and 90s didn't have. We can go on our phone and say, hey Siri, and it'll pull up all type of shit in 4 seconds. We don't have excuses. Nobody has excuses for nothing. You can find, if you want to learn how far we are from the moon right now, you can type that in and you can find it.
Right.
That ain't crazy.
So how don't you know what's going on around the corner? Yeah, I feel you. And that's dope about the time, because I sort of, you know, I'm just constantly paying attention, and it pulls me in weird direction. LFOD is a weird thing where I like to mind my own business, but I sort of have to mind other people's so I can share it, because we got to know what's going on. So,
right, for sure.
It's an interesting balance, but I get pulled sometimes too much in the watching, and then I got to go back in the. So I like the idea of just carving it out. And bro, apparel, man. So we did some apparel, and you have some hard conversations. Like one dude, I had to tell him, I was like, "You're not getting better. Like you're not growing with us. Like we're going every time I come to you, like there's issues or it's work. Like we got to find someone else." And that's a lot of apparel stuff, man, especially if you have a like an attention to detail or like screen printing is cool, but a lot of screen printers print for like Dunkin' Donuts, who doesn't care if it's a little bit sideways, or a landscaping company, or a marathon, or people that don't care. And then when you go to them and you're like, I need a screen print and I'm going to sell it, if they give you something that's sideways, in their mind it's close enough, but in yours you're like,
nah, you need perfection. You're chasing perfection. So and that
shout out Rocket Fuel Only, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. There's when you find the good ones, you got to lock in with them. You really do,
for sure.
Because you're going to go through some on the way.
You got to spend that money, and you got to let them know that you're appreciative of the quality of service in the exchange of energy and doing business with them, because they'll start looking out for you. You'll start seeing prices come down. People don't understand the type of conversation you have with a person. And the energy, it dictates everything. You know what I mean? So we got to get to a point where, we make sure that the energy is right. And when you're working with people and things aren't going the way you want it, this kind of goes back to what I first came on and said when Brandie was here. Making sure everybody around you is on the same page. If you are not on the same page, I can't entertain that right now. You know what I mean? We don't have time to waste. We don't know our expiration date. I think people need to start taking that a lot more serious. And there was a word y'all were using earlier. I want to address it, especially as artists. And the word was ego, right?
All right.
And when we're working and we know when we're nice, we put that time in to polish our craft. I think there's a time and place for that ego. You gotta know when to turn that motherfucker off. Don't let your ego kill you. Don't let your ego set you back. You know what I mean? Where your nose is so high in the air that your eyes ain't balanced to see. You might need to be over here for a second. You might need to go shake a hand over here or talk to this person here. It'll change the balance of everything. So we gotta balance that ego. We gotta know when to cut it off and cut it on.
Bro, you got like a saying for everything. I really appreciate
this off the top. This off the top.
You got the ballot. You're literally got a seesaw with your eyes and your nose. I'm picturing like.
We gotta paint that picture. You know what I mean? We artists paint that picture.
Word. Yo, so we're getting a little bit over the hour mark. I want to make sure this is something that people are gonna jump in on, and like press play after the fact.
For sure.
Two things before I got out of here. First of all, I want to talk about it this time. I don't think we have time, but you brought up real briefly Ness Cook on Twitter. You are like the hustlers. Like you have random photos and facts about just hustlers, like that were before the social media era, and you were like, "Yo, we got to get 50 to talk about this." I kind of want to link up with you and just talk about like some of these old school, because you said she was from Freeport, right?
Freeport, New York. I mean, Sam, here's the kick, right? The first cipher I did with you, I said some comments about my father in the rhyme.
I feel like your dad was that guy.
My daddy did it for me, even with certain ratchets, 357 go BBS. Like when the lifestyle that I saw as a kid, this stuff, put it like this, right? Everybody's watching Power, BMF, Raising Canaan. I saw that shit for real.
Got you.
Feel me?
Yeah.
So all the way down to I told a story about when we first had our interview. When I watched, $20,000-$30,000 get passed in the bag while I'm in a Bentley with,
Yeah.
I saw it for real. I had this rhyme where I said I wanted to do everything my daddy did without having to do anything that my daddy did.
That's fire. That's fire.
Imagine making legal money, right? Not having to look over your shoulder, but so much, because you still can't sleep outside, right? You still can't sleep on people. Everybody's crazy. But imagine making that money legally and dressing the way you want to dress, still having that swag and all that without the paranoia. You know what I mean? You know, I got somebody right now, you know, man, in such an ill situation where you got, you know, ATF knocking on doors. You understand what I'm saying? Like a real, you know, and then even when I'm on the jack, I can hear it in them. You know, that thing, like, damn. You know what I mean? I don't want that. And as we get older, you know, I know rap is in a place where they glorify street shit. They glorify these things and all this bravado. But you know what's crazy to me? When some of these cats get locked up and you see the video footage of them in court, the bravado ain't there, right? So what's cool about it for real, for real? You know what I mean? And then you got a lot of cats, they don't start getting arrested till they, you know, they're rappers. Till they getting on with the rap. They don't be having no record. They're not known for being tough guys. Never seen them outside doing no crazy activities. Not till they get a little deal that they start dressing a certain way. These guys ain't got no jewelry before they get on the rap.
A lot of them end up moving away because they're scared of their own community. You know?
Now, we'll say this. You got to be careful of where you came up. You should have. Sometimes you can't be in a certain area. I'm from Capitol Heights, PG County, Maryland. Sam, you went down to D.C. The first thing you said when I took you, told you to go where you went, Pure Lounge. You said, Tony, there was a tension in the air.
Yeah.
There's carjackings, murder, and assault every day where I'm from right now.
I've never been patted down like that in my life to this day.
Yeah, it's tension in the air. And you know the funny part? You got patted down because they wanted to make sure you ain't had nothing, but somebody knows the security and them things was in there. You ain't have them. No, probably. I'm telling you. They was in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying. So it's like I want
oh, my bad.
No, I finished the thought. I want music to get back to a place, right? Where we can have all the sounds, all the mind frames getting a certain type of exposure. In my opinion, when we turn on the rap on the radio, right? I'm hearing the music and it's like, dude, even the singers are talking about toting and carrying and they ain't even no love songs right now for real. The R&B cats is like, girl, put your head down, bend over, I pop it, ba-da-da-da-da. And there's a time and place for everything, but yo, where's the balance? Let's get back to the balance. So, 2022, I hope people just take a second, look at what the hell's going on and get focused again and bring this thing to what it's supposed to be. Because this is art. If everybody's doing the same thing, it's no longer art. Now it's Etch-a-Sketch. You ain't creating nothing. You'll be like, fuck that. Do your art, be you. And do it to your best of your ability.
And the art is supposed to imitate life. It's when it goes the other way that it's not good.
And it comes out every time. They get exposed every time. I'm gonna give you one more saying. I'm gonna give you one more saying. One more saying, right? Time exposes everything. It's gonna expose all the work that you have been putting in and all the work that you haven't been putting in. So folks, put your wristwatch up and let's lock in on that time, man. You don't know, we don't know when we're gonna go. Let's start bullshitting.
And so I want to say two things. One is I'm glad you said glorifying, because it's the difference between talking about what is going on around you. And if you are really doing that, tell your truth for sure.
Right.
But when it's, and your man Pimp said that UGK was always dope because they told both sides. They told about, yo, you don't know what it's like to have these nightmares. Like, I don't sleep at night. I need drugs to sleep because of the life I live. So as long as you're being real about it, talk as much, do as much. And I'm definitely that's not my lifestyle, so I'm not one to judge either way. But when we're supporting artists, I definitely listen to the like, are you also telling me this isn't fun? Like, you don't enjoy it. If you're telling me it's fun, I don't always know, but it also might be the way you live. The second thing I was going to say, rest in peace, Young Dolph. That go-go show you sent me to was when I was traveling at the very top of 2020, before we knew this was going to happen. I was on a road trip, and that was the night. I always listen to a few Dolph things here and there. Young Dolph starts to hit differently as you move down the map. Dolph didn't hit like that up in New England. He did not. It's a fact. People can say whatever, but it wasn't happening like that. I was at that go-go place, and that was the first time I saw a room full of women circle up and rap Preach word for word. I'm getting chills now talking about it. Preach went off in there crazy, losing their minds on a weekday night.
Sam, I'm gonna tell you, he was selling out Bliss. He was selling out Bliss and what's the other spot in Northeast? Not too far from that strip club stadium.
Man, I listened to Young Dolph.
He was selling that shit out early.
From then on, he was like permanently in rotation as I drove across as I went anywhere. When I got locked down, I was in Denver. I found some gelato, and it was me and Dolph getting right, getting focused, doing what had to be done. Like, and
so you didn't have a chance to go to the Providence show?
No, I wasn't around.
Shout out!
I never saw him.
Hey, listen! Shout out to my man Keno again with Alchemy Clothing. We went to that show down the Strand Theater, and
crazy.
That shit was off the chain. That shit, that was a movie. You understand? That was a movie.
I believe it, man. And that one hit me different too. That one was crazy. I didn't expect to be tearing up, screaming, $1 million investment. I invested on my wrist as I'm like driving. Like, I was like, am I really like to this? Like, am I losing control? But it was, rest in peace, Dolph. But it really changed.
That, you know what?
And you put me in that room. So I knew that. I felt that.
I'm going to tell you something, though, but that goes back to that word that I used, ego. You understand? You're riding around, and we got to call it for what it is. Young Dolph, 36 years old. So you're not 18, 19. You driving the car, and you're the only one with this custom paint on it in the whole city.
Yeah.
Right? And it's you and one other person.
Yeah.
At the height of your power. You should have had two. You shouldn't have been in that car. You should have been in a whole nother whip. You shouldn't have even got out the car to go in there unless you had 7 other cats ready to rock and roll, because you know what your name stand for, what you're talking about in your music, and you know what your past is. And I'm going to be honest, the same thing goes to Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle, brother, you can look at interviews. Sam has said, hey, guess what? Stop riding that Bentley top down, $80,000 in jewelry on, no security, and go into that store like that. Stop that. I'm going to send you a clip where Nori on Drink Champs tells Young Dolph, I know you're home, and I know, you got people that love you, but you got people that hate you too. Please be careful. And you know what Young Dolph said to him? Ain't shit gonna happen to me. That don't count for me.
Damn. I remember that. I saw that.
Ego.
Interesting.
Shit.
No one to turn it on, no one to turn it off.
Because he, by all accounts, seemed like he was a good ass dude,
Oh yeah.
Even just listening to how many of those he was talking all that, but it was also, it
was game.
I buried $1 million for my kid. Like he was talking about putting his money aside for his kids. He even said, if I die, he's gonna be a rich little bastard.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
That one, I was like, God damn, dude.
He was kicking game. He was kicking game. But it's like, okay, so if you're that smart, why? When you look at Tupac. Brilliant guy, right? You go punch a known shooter because somebody whispers in your ear. That ain't your job. That ain't your fucking job. They're gangbangers. They don't care about no rap shit. You let them go do with that.
Yeah.
And look at the outlook.
People just always think though that it's not gonna happen to me. It's not gonna happen to me. They see it happening to other people, but in many ways, the ego kicks in, and then you end up lacking empathy for other people going through it, because you're in a good place and you just automatically think because I'm in a good place, it's not going to happen to me.
That's right. And you know what's so wild with Pac's situation? They said Orlando was a fan of Tupac. And when Pac came up to him, Orlando was going to dap him up. He was a fan.
Damn.
And you got punched in the face. And then you jumped. And when you look, as these guys are stomping, I'm pretty sure Orlando's looking. Southside Crip, he was a legendary shooter. Unfortunately, it's just the truth. You look up and you see all this red. So damn, Pac, cat I look up to and like, punches me in my fucking mouth. And I look up and I see all this red. Oh nah. Go get the strap.
Yeah.
We're gonna ride out. That's how that go.
The thing is, it can happen to you even if you're as careful. So I kind of get both sides, where it's like, if you're afraid, you're going to surround yourself with a bunch of people, you know. So maybe some people would rather not feel afraid, and just if it happens, it happens, versus feeling that fear. I don't know, like, especially like I'm out here in LA right now, and like people have been telling me, like, just move, you got to move certain ways out here.
Gotta be careful
even
out
like
there.
Drakeo, rest in peace. He was backstage he didn't do anything wrong. He actually went along with security, assuming that everyone else was being treated the same way. Like, it's hard, man. It's hard.
It is.
I was at the Nipsey show at the Middle East. I will say that I did catch Nipsey Hussle before he passed, and that was insane. Middle East downstairs. Money in the air everywhere. Never seen that happen at the Middle East before. Haven't seen it happen since.
That's right.
Running back, fly cripping because they were throwing so much money. You know, just keep doing it. You know, they had like every gang in Boston in there, but everyone got along. You know, it was Nipsey Hussle. And before we get out of here, so you two are like the OGs from the Instagram Live days, which is
I remember talking to Tone online. When he first moved to Boston, I was just like, yo, Boston people are the best. I get more love from Boston than I do, I think, in my own hometown. Like, no shade to anybody from my hometown that's watching right now. But real talk, like, over the years, it's always been my homies from Boston. Like, these dudes will drive all the way to my place just to make sure I'm okay. But then, like, members of my own community aren't even knocking on my door. So, like, to me, like, my bestest friends are out in Boston. And I remember talking to Tone about it online and him asking, like, you know, what's up with Boston? I was just like, yo, there's nobody I've ever met in my lifetime is anything like the community out in Boston. Like, there's cliques everywhere. There's ego everywhere. But as far as coming down to the absolute realness of somebody's soul, the community in Boston is very real to me, and I have a lot of respect for them out there.
I'm glad you said that, because there's people in Boston who are probably surprised that someone would say that.
Deep gray hair is a real baby.
Good for you. So what I was going to say is, like, you guys are from that. We're bringing it onto this big screen now. We're changing it up. Hopefully we're going to get random people popping in again. Like, what do you want to see from this? We're going to do this the last Thursday of every month. We're going to do this live stream. Like, what do y'all want from it? Like, what should we have in mind as we're putting it together and planning, and what type of energy for people tuned in? Like, what do they need to bring as well?
I mean, I would love to see younger artists coming in and showcasing their work and talking about their background, what they want to do in the future. You know, like, I don't really consider myself a gatekeeper until somebody told me I was a gatekeeper. But really? Like, yeah, because I'm an old head, you know. I know I don't really look it, but, you know, I'm an OG, and, like, I've mentored a lot of people over the years, and now these kids are getting into their 30s now. Like, they're 29, 30 years old, 31, and I'm just like, yo, like, I remember when you were 15. I remember when you were 6, never mind 15. So, like, seeing them come up is it feeds my soul. So I would love to see younger artists coming in and just, you know, very quickly just come in and explain, you know, where they're from and what it is that they're trying to do. And also, of course, like a lot of artists my age, not to like, you know, add in any kind of ageism, but like we're still working, we're still doing things, and we're evolving. Like every 5 to 10 years we're evolving into something new. So I would love to see some, you know, old school heads come in and just say hello and just talk, you know, let us know what your plans are, how can we help you, how can we support you, and talking shit and cracking jokes, that too, I love that.
Word. And that's a different zone for us too, because you heard Brandie earlier. We try to keep like the interviews are super like almost NPR like, but I like that we could. So yeah, this will be the shit talk zone. Although we've said ego a lot, and I try to keep mine all the way the fuck over there. But Tony, what about you? What are you feeling?
I want to see more networking amongst the folks again. You know, we're artists. I get it. Let's put the ego aside. I'm going on DJ Knife's IG later on. This whole situation with Purple, I didn't even know. So now, guess what? Got to tap into what you got going on. Let's really link. Let's be those tree branches for each other, because as Massachusetts, the music scene is still growing. It has not, in my opinion. You've had people that have, you know, paved some way, made some, you know, covered some ground, right? In my opinion, though, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
Okay.
If you ask an out of towner, what does a Boston cat look like? Can they tell you? Dress code wise, can they tell you?
Well, until recently, at least, it would still be the Timbs, and like it was super 90s. Like the rep was Boston was kind of stuck in
Right.
there.
But if you ask an 18, 19-year-old in Atlanta, what them Boston cats wearing?
Bro, they don't know where it is sometimes in the South. I learned that in Florida. People don't know where it is.
Now, if you go to a kid in Atlanta and say, okay, what do a California cat wear? What does an LA cat wear?
There's going to be an answer. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So with that said right there, we're still seeing something where if this thing is going to take everybody connecting in some type of way. I see a lot of talent here, especially in the Bean, right? I think, you know, the Bean artists, when it comes to certain type of areas and neighborhoods, right? There's still lasting friction, if you will. I think that's the best way I could put that.
If my understanding, you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they can overcome that, because right now I'm looking at what Van Buren is doing.
Shout out the guys.
They make it, man. I'm looking at what Millie's is doing.
It's crazy.
Oh man.
Billboard Blanco.
Yeah, they're from outskirts.
Well, Cambridge for Millie's, and Brockton is way out. But yeah.
But they're outskirts. They're not.
And let's not forget Bia, bro. I'm out here. So that remix there gets played in the cars out here. It's the first time I heard it. It was nuts. I was chilling at a bar.
I didn't even know
I hear.
He was from
I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega.
Like,
like we're out here.
Then I saw Drewski make a skit out of it. I'm like, yo, word, okay. So the potential's already here. I believe the potential's already been there.
For a long time, man. For a long time. That's when we started. We thought it was a year away. We're like, yo, this is crazy. But it takes a minute.
It takes a minute. So I think I just want to see people, to answer your question in full, network.
Got you.
Get together, network, talk, link. For you artists, one of the quickest ways, say you have a year where you're not putting out no music, right? One of the quickest ways for you to catch that steam and pop off, follow cats who are making traction. Look at where they're performing. Look at the blogs, not that blog, podcasts that are picking them up for interviews. Right?
Yep.
There's your groundwork right there. Oh, I got to be at that event. Let me send some music to that podcast. Let me link with them. The answers are right there. They're already online. You could take a year or two off. You could take a year or two off. It's not going to hurt you. Just pay attention to what's going. Pay attention to the current. And then jump in the water when you're ready. You make your splash. That's it.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that. It's funny. I had some notes before we got started, and I was like, I gotta ask Tony. Like, he was legendary for dropping. Like, you drop random gems. Like, you just come on, and like you said, you had your study time. I swear it must have been right before we did the lives, because you'd always pop in. You'd be like, Sam, this is what I figured out like just now. And I love that naturally you just dropped a bunch of game throughout your appearance. So I definitely appreciate that. We might have to do like our own little, maybe that's even a separate networking, like let's get our heads together.
Why not?
Who wants to build?
Yep.
Because if people
don't
listen,
be leaving me out.
No. We, like a big we, because the fans, one thing I've learned over the last year looking at things is we've done a great job connecting with artists. And my job this year is to do a better job connecting with fans and bringing them in. And they don't always care about, tips for being a better artist. You know what I mean? The artists love that, but they want just the artist. So I'm learning to figure out how we, split those two things.
People really want to be a part of something now, especially because I call it COVID culture. That's what I'm calling it. But because a lot has changed and a lot of people are trying to find different ways of expressing themselves. And a lot of people who never even thought about being an artist or becoming an artist are doing it now, So, yeah.
I love it,
Makes
man.
sense.
Everyone can create. And what was I going to tell y'all? Speaking of becoming a part of something, go to LFOD Life right now and check out what the join button says, because we have a membership offering now. And we're going to offer some cool stuff to folks who want to get behind the scenes. There's a free tier. There's a paid tier. There's an artist beta. So if you're an artist and you want to tap in, we're going to be rolling out some cool stuff for y'all. But like I said, we're focused on the fans right now. And that's kind of our experiment for 2022. And that's kind of an outside the algorithm thing. We want to take it off the socials. I want people to have a place where they can come and they know they're going to get that, versus if I want to find some new music or something, maybe I have to go on Twitter. And the next thing I know, I'm reading about Aaron Rodgers going to the Broncos or this other thing. And it's like, that's not even why I came here. And so we're trying to carve out a space where you go there for art and you go there for creativity and connection. So I'm glad you teed that up for me there. And
this whole thing right here is a perfect example of that, because I actually lost Tone through the algorithm on IG. I'm just like, I never
changed
see
his
stuff
name
anymore.
He changed his name too.
So, but then like once you added us to that flyer, I started seeing his stories again. I'm just like, yo, like,
really?
what I really should do is just
That's
go
ill.
through my
It was
list.
just that little bit he started popping up again just by tagging you together.
Yeah.
Wild.
So
there's another gem.
What I need is a ski mask. So I'll definitely be visiting the website and getting a ski mask, because I need one of those for my next shoot.
There it is.
I have a photo shoot coming up hopefully soon. It was rescheduled once already, so hopefully it works out this time. But I enjoy wearing my friends' gear and my photo shoots. There's a lot of people out here who are designing and have their own logos and just trying to come up in the fashion industry. So yeah, I love to wear my friends' clothing.
Appreciate the support. It's game time.
Anytime y'all saw that pink hat I was wearing, that was the Tony White. That was the Closed Minds Don't Get Bread exclusive.
Right.
Right. Well, not exclusive, but it was definitely probably. Do you still have the pink ones? It was probably a limited run of some sort.
I got pink ones, and some of the newer caps that are online. What I did, I took every color that sold really well, and I threw them on the letters that's in the logo and the logo.
Okay.
So I'm always changing. I'm always switching things up, alternating. When y'all see the new sweatsuits, y'all gonna like what I got coming. Wait for it.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. All right, y'all. This has been dope. I'm so glad y'all could come here, because this is one of those things, and this was like with the lives too. I never even paid attention to how many at the beginning, I was paying attention to how many people are tuned in, but then I was like, no, I'm just chilling with my friends. I'm kicking it. It's whatever. Some of them went for 20 minutes. Some of them went for an hour plus. We're an hour and a half right now. This is going to be up. Shout out my guy Bedlam. I told him about this, and he's like, you might as well drop that as a podcast. So we might take the audio off here. This might end up on a podcast. We're just, mixing and mashing and growing. So anybody who has suggestions for what they want to see from us, we're definitely, like, the ears are open. We're listening. We got a lot on the way. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Brandie Blaze, DJ Knife as well. Wait, bye. You guys, when I get back to New England, which will probably be sometime this spring, we got to do a big in-person thing. Whatever it takes. We'll bring the van. It's got the power. We'll get a PA. Like, let's make something happen. So,
that would be so dope.
I can't wait. So if you all anybody has a lead on like a field or like an area sort of close to
I think I got one for you.
My guy, let's do it then. Yo, peace. Shout out to everyone tuned in. If you enjoyed this, if you are enjoying it, please share it with your friends. It's up on YouTube right now. That link is going to stay there. Tap in with us, LFOD.life, at LFOD Life, everywhere. Man, you already know. Y'all be safe. Sincerely love y'all, and I'll see you soon, all right?
All right, y'all.
Peace out.
Peace.
Have